Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to another MMO Anthropology video. I, of course, am Amerist, and I'm doing something a little bit different this time. I'm pulling something from my Twitch live stream, in which we're talking about Star Trek Online ships with my co-host, Cynicman, and I hope everyone likes this, where we just sitting around chatting about Star Trek Online news. I'm going to jump right into it with all of our foibles and something that's going on. And if you like this, I'll just keep doing this, and including all of the little glitches and everything that happens on the stream. And it happened close to the end of the month. I'm going to try to get these out more often when they happen, closer to when they happen, of course. And so let's get on with it. See you there. All right. Okay, great. So I'm gonna start out with playing the video. So warn me if this is too loud. It doesn't sound. It sounds good. I love videos so much.
Yeah, it's done.
It does look kind of like
a floating brick.
Yeah, it looks like a brick.
It doesn't quite have the extra bits on it though, like the Caldari destroyer does. But yeah, it's a freighter, is what it is.
Well, yeah, it's basically a flying holodeck.
Well, it looks like it's a flying warehouse.
Yeah, it is.
That's more or less what a holodeck is, just empty.
So, like, in the show, essentially, it was a bunch of holodecks that were designed to house people.
Basically, steal them from their planet, so they can steal the regenerative goo for the Joan Rivers space aliens.
Yeah. So before Cynic gets going, let me turn on the giveaway.
Okay, I'll allow it.
There we go. So all you have to do is type exclamation point raffle and it will go. So why? There we go. Excellent. And go ahead, Cynic. The holo ship is up for everyone to see.
All right, so holo ship. So, it's an interesting ship. It's a 4-4 weapon layout, 3 device slots with a Lieutenant Commander Universal Intel, a Commander Universal Intel, a Lieutenant Commander Universal Miracle Worker, a Lieutenant Commander Universal, and a Lieutenant Universal. It has 4 tactical, 4 engineering, 3 science, and 1 universal console. Bonus 5 weapon, 5 engine, and 10 aux power. The console is the Universal Holo Matrix Distortion, which we will talk about more later. It has Activate Holo Matrix. It has the Gather Intel Ship Mechanic. It has a cloaking device. It has 3 holographic configurations, which have different effects, which we will discuss more in a bit.
Pax is pointing out that in the movie, the interior was basically one great big holodeck. Yeah, in order to make sure that people were unaware that they were essentially being beamed off the planet.
This is all universal?
Yes, because the idea is being a holographic ship, it can be whatever it needs to be. It has the Cruiser Mastery package, so Phys and Kinetic Damage Resist, Regeneration, Energy and Radiation Damage Resist, Max Hull Capacity, and its trait is the Ouroboros Driver. Its Admiralty card is 48 Engineering, 36 Science, 42 Tactical, with a special of a 2x crit rating from events. So, the holographic configurations. Tactical. While this configuration is active, the Starship systems will dynamically reconfigure to fill a more offensive role. This provides a boost to flight speed and turn rate while reducing max hull cap and max shield cap. The ship's subsystem power bonuses become 15 weapon and 15 engine power. Defeating foes while this configuration is active will increase the foes defeated counter of the tactical holographic configuration. Increasing the foes defeated counter unlocks additional bonuses while in this mode. 50 foes defeated is a minus 10% weapon power cost. 100 foes defeated is a plus 2% crit chance with weapons. 150 foes defeated is plus 10% crit severity with weapons. And 200 foes defeated is a plus 10% weapon firing cycle haste. Then you have the engineering configuration, which is obviously a more defensive role. Provides boost to max hull cap and max shield cap while reducing flight speed and turn rate. Ship subsystem bonuses become plus 10 weapon power, plus 10 shield power, and plus 10 auxiliary power. While this configuration is active, increasing the foes defeated counter unlocks the following. 50 foes defeated is 10% hull regen. 100 foes defeated is 10% shield regen. 150 foes defeated is 35 all damage resistance. And 200 foes defeated is plus 5 max all power subsystems. Lastly, we have the holographic science configuration, which is to fill a more supportive role, which provides a boost to maximum shield cap, flight speed, and turn rate while reducing max hull cap. The subsystem power bonuses become 15 shield power and 15 auxiliary power. The counter grants 50 foes is 25 part gens, 100 foes is 25 control expertise, 150 foes is 25 drain expertise, and 200 foes is 10% recharge speed on universal consoles. Foes defeated counter for each mode resets after 20 hours without defeating a foe while using that mode.
Oh my, that's really interesting. I was wondering why when I went into the second fight, I saw that my foes defeated had stayed the same.
Yeah, that's why it's also
I mean, with honestly, that high number, you got to have something like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Well,
looking at the three things. Oh, go ahead.
Pax had mentioned that's why he named the ship Vic's Lounge. Pax said, in my headcanon, that's where Vic Fontaine in his 1962 Las Vegas program now resides.
Yeah, just the actual bonuses. The tactical mode is plus 20% flight speed, plus 5 turn rate. It's minus 20% max hull cap, minus 20% shield cap. The engineering is plus 15 max hull and max shield cap, and then the lower speed is minus 10% speed and 5 turn rate. And then science is 10% flight speed, 2 turn rate, and 20% max shield cap with a minus 10 max hull cap. Overall, I figure people are generally going to be flying in tactical or science more often than not.
Yeah.
Just because their bonuses seem more useful. Continuing on, we have the Activate Holomatrix. Along with its robust holographic configurations, the Federation Intel Holo Ship comes with a feature that allows it to mask itself as other ships. When using this ability, a Holomatrix field masks the ship with a hologram from a range of ships that served during the Dominion War era. The ship hologram is randomly chosen and changed depending on which holographic configuration the ship is in. The list of possible ship holograms increase depending on the foe's defeated counter of each holographic configuration mode. There are 24 possible ship holograms. With no configuration, you have a Maquis Raider, a Katinga Battle Cruiser, or a New Orleans-class Recon Destroyer.
Whoa.
In tactical configuration, you have a Miradorn Raider, a Steam Runner Escort at 50 plus foes defeated, a Defiant Escort at 100 foes defeated, Mogai at 150 plus foes defeated, a Quirks-class Strikewing Escort at 150 foes defeated, Kepu Light Battle Cruiser at 150 foes defeated, and Husnak Warship at 150 foes defeated. Engineering gives you the following options. Miranda Light Class Cruiser and Terrace variant, Vorcha Class Cruiser at 50 foes, plus Jem'Hadar Battle Cruiser at 100 plus foes, Galaxy at 150 foes, Derek at 150 foes, Jem'Hadar at 150, Dreadought Carrier at 150 foes, and Sovereign Class Assault Cruiser at 150 foes. The science possibilities are the Oberth, the Nebula-class Advanced Science Vessel Phoenix variant at 50 foes, Scimitar-class Warbird at 100 foes, Olympic-class Research Vessel at 150, Intrepid-class Long-Range Science Vessel at 150, Sona Command Science Vessel at 150, and Luna-class Reconnaissance Science Vessel at 150 foes defeated. The console is the Universal Holo Matrix Distortion. Which is a console that has a plus 20% inertia rating, plus 20 defense rating, with the clicky Holo Matrix Distortion. PB AoE 10 kilometers. Self is plus 10, it's plus temp HP, plus all damage resistance, and to foe it's minus all damage resistance, placate. To self is temporary hit points for 15 seconds, plus 5% all damage resistance rating for 15 seconds. Additional 5% all damage resistance rating per foe for 15 seconds. To the target, it's minus 25% all damage resistance rating for 15 seconds, up to 10 foes within a 10-kilometer radius, and a placate for a short amount of time. So, mostly a defensive console. I mean, reducing their damage resistance rating is a boost to damage. And then the trait, Ouroboros Driver. While this trait is slotted, and when activating a tactical or intelligence buff ability, it will reduce the recharge time of all cooldowns on engineering and miracle worker bridge officer abilities, and vice versa. So, self is minus 10% recharge time on tactical or intelligence buff abilities when using engineering or miracle worker buff abilities, or minus 10% recharge time of engineering or miracle worker buff abilities when using tactical or intel buff abilities. So it's basically a trait designed around hybrid ships to get the most use out. But there's enough useful abilities, so like if you really needed cooldown, it's not the worst trait, because it's like, okay, your emergency powered weapons will put your tactical stuff on reduced cooldown, and your tactical stuff will reduce that. So like, it's okay. There's lots of sources of cooldowns, so I think it's one of those where it's not as good compared to other traits because it doesn't inherently boost your damage.
It's true.
But it's overall, since we've gone through the ship at this point, overall, it is a interesting ship because it is the jack of all trades style ship, like the ultimate jack of all trades. You can literally pick your role, pick your stations. It's interesting. The fact that it gives you a random hologram instead of letting you pick one might turn some people off.
Also, this is not too bad of a trait for a free one, like a completely free one.
No, it's definitely one of the cooldown is almost always useful. Like, it's never bad to have more abilities.
And the thing is that you are probably almost always hitting something like emergency powered weapons and tactical team.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's definitely one of those where, because it's swapping between the two, like, yeah, you could definitely get some good cooldown use. Or if you're making use of engineering or miracle worker power, or intel or miracle worker powers, those two can feed into your cooldowns.
Yes.
So overall, it's a solid, like, it is not a bad trait. It's just not like, if I were putting it on a tier list, I'd say it's a B, maybe a low A.
Yep. Yeah.
The ship itself, like I said, it's a weird ship because of its design. You know, the fact that it's basically a cruiser that can kind of pretend to be other things. The issue is it's not going to be as effective as the other things because it doesn't have an experimental weapon slot and it doesn't have a secondary deflector. So it's not going to be as effective as those things as an actual science or tactical vessel.
Yeah, because
But
it could be too many things at once.
yeah. That said, if you want to play a ship that can cover all roles depending on what you need, yeah, sure. So yeah, overall, if nothing else, I will give it credit for being something new and unique that we have not really seen before.
I think it absolutely is that. And like that's one of the things that I really like about this. And I am greatly amused by the random holographic thing, which I have not tried out yet. I didn't even notice that was in the thing.
Yeah, we had one of the people, I forget, in the I think it was in the Herald Sphere. No, was the Herald Sphere the one of the two missions we done? Someone was flying it because they I think they had the Mirador Raider
Oh.
holo, if I remember correctly.
Oh, neat. Can you tell that it's a hologram? Does it flicker or something like
Yeah,
that?
it does. At least if assuming this is what I thought I saw, that yeah, it has the occasional holographic, that blue flicker that runs across it.
Awesome.
So now then, shall we talk about the Loadouts Festival
Yes, I've got it
itself?
up. Yes.
Okay. So the Summer Loadouts Festival. Obviously, we already talked about the ship because that's the big thing. However, they have some new rewards. The first of which is the Frontier Doctor.
Oh, just a reminder to everybody, the raffle is currently up. If you type ! Raffle, you can get in on that. It's 2 master keys for people on PC. Go ahead. Oh.
So
yes.
this outfit is basically inspired by one worn by McCoy.
Ooh.
It's retro is the best thing I could say about it. Like,
yeah.
it is not what I consider the best looking outfit personally. But
no.
it could be to certain people's styles, so I'm not going to yuck someone's yums.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't either. I mean, like, it
But
is
it
definitely
isn't aged.
It looks like something that would be like in a cost drama, for sure. Like, it's period.
So then we have the Rising sunscreen makeup. So you've got the classic nose makeup.
It's adorable.
Not much to say about that one.
It looks really great on the Lethian.
Then you've got new colors of floater and power board.
Yep.
Which it's like, oh boy.
Have to have those. I've got the prismatic one.
Then we have the classic thruster pack floater, which is sort of like a steampunky, very retro Then for kit modules, we have the Rapid Lithic Formation Earth Elemental Kit, which kit module deals kinetic damage to enemies in a 5-meter radius from the main target. Also has a 20% chance of knocking those affected into the air. Mineral Quicksand Earth Elemental Kit. Make the ground where your foes stand their worst enemy. Kit module will modify the chemical structure of a 15-meter area of ground right under target's position, dealing damage and slowing them every second. Max 5 stacks. Once at max, the target will be rooted in place for 10 seconds. But all that mineral oil is highly flammable. Using direct energy weapons on a rooted target will ignite them for 10 seconds.
Oh. Wow.
And then wrist-mounted acid spray air elemental kit. Hold the power of rising terraforming in your wrist. Inside this wrist-mounted module are all the necessary elements to aerosolize a very potent acid mix that will deal toxic damage for 10 seconds to any foe unfortunate enough to be affected by its spray. They will also receive a 10% damage, max 5 stacks, and be confused for 10 seconds.
Oh, new emotes. I was wondering where tap dance came from.
So there is the calisthenics emote, which is basically a stretching emote. There's the tap dance emote. And the baseball wave emote, which could just be called the wave, to be honest.
Yeah. All right.
So I would say overall the emotes aren't bad. The outfit is definitely like an acquired taste. that arrow look is definitely one of the ones where it's like, looks like the emotes are 600 lolnet favors.
Okay, I'm sure that there are some people that will find use for the outfit.
Sure.
And
I mean, it's like anything, people will take bits and bobs off of it.
Yeah, this weird floater. Oh my god, look at this. I kind of enjoy this backpack look.
Floater's probably of the visual stuff that's probably the most interesting because it's just we don't have a lot of steampunk style stuff in the game.
No.
And you would figure with the idea of Captain Proton that there'd be more of that floating around.
Yeah, this is kind of like Tesla punk. Because look at like the very
well, it's steampunk for a Star Trek era.
Joystick and pad. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Captain Proton, which is like retro futuristic. Okay, it looks like the raffle is over, and I think it goes to you. Pax. So all you have to do is come find me on Risa. And we are basically right here. We are in Risa 10. In front of the dance floor. Either that or all you have to do is give me your in-game username and I will mail it to you after the pontification. Easy enough. I think there if there's mail here on Risa. If there isn't, I will go somewhere else.
There should be mail in the building if I recall correctly. At least I know there's a bank, definitely. There should be a mail somewhere around there.
Either one. If you find me on Risa, I can trade it to you directly. If you want me to mail it to you, I can get up and go to the mail after we're done with the pontification. Either or. All right.
So now we're on to the Timeless Legacy bundle.
Yeah. Okay. Timeless Legacy it is. And we have 3 spaceships in that. Oh, we have a video. Hold on.
All right, so while the video is playing, I am going to use the restroom.
For I dipped into the future. Far as human eye could see. saw the vision of the world and all the wonder that would be. Saw the heaven fill with commerce.
Oh, that's a
Argosies of magic sails.
very interesting. That one has like a dual engineering section.
Pilots of the purple twilight. Dropping down with costly bales. Heard the heavens fill with shouting. And the rain a ghastly dew. From the nation's airy navies, grappling in the central blue. Far along the worldwide whisper of the south wind rushing warm. With the standards of the people plunging through the thunderstorm. Till the war drum throbbed no longer, and the battle flags were furled. Parliament of men, the Federation of the world. There the common sense of most shall hold a fretful realm in awe, and the kindly earth shall slumber, lapped in universal law.
I'm back. Hello?
Hey,
Oh, okay, good. Do you need the link again?
nope, Loxley Hall. I was looking up the Alfred Lord Tennyson. I thought it was Tennyson. Yeah, okay. A fretful realm and all. Yeah, the poem. I was all like, why do I recognize this?
If you just scrolled a little bit in the article, it says, "For I dipped into the future as far as the human eye could see, saw the vision of the world, all the wonders that would
Alfred
be."
Tennyson.
Alfred Tennyson.
Okay, yeah, all right, you're right. I was like, why do I recognize this? This is a very goddamn familiar turn of phrase. And I was like, oh, it's Tennyson. Okay, great.
So Timeless Legacy Starship Bundle features ships from throughout the aesthetic eras of Star Trek, featuring ships and variants from the original series, motion picture era, and Star Trek Online's own contemporary look itself. 2 ships from this bundle have been inspired by the classic Star Trek games, the Proxima class, which includes the refit Proxima 2 from Star Trek Legacy, and the Okinawa class from Star Trek Starfleet Command, the latter of which also includes the TOS-era Ventura class from IDW's Star Trek Crew. The 2 ships are joined by the new Stow-era additions, the Pollux class and the Alameda class, respectively. The Warden class, the 3rd ship in this bundle, is a Stow-era rendition of the original Ranger class ship introduced in the Star Trek Online expansion Agents of Yesterday. It also includes a TMP-era refit, the Ranger 2 class, for enjoyers of that era. So, the bundle includes the Proxima Miracle Worker Science Dreadought, the Warden Multi-Mission Temporal Cruiser, the Okinawa Pirate Raider, Starfleet Environmental Suit 2271 Orange, as seen in the motion picture, has unique arm scanner sweep power, which is damage resistance and stealth debuff. Affects foes 6 max. To target, -50 all damage resistance rating for 12 seconds. To target, -60 stealth strength for 8 seconds. To self, +30 perception for 8 seconds. And a 6% chance to expose the target for 9 seconds. Exposed chance reduced by half on primary attack, which is a bundle exclusive. So you also have the Wrath of Khan Cadet uniform, which is a bundle exclusive. And the Tau SETI 5, the SETI Alpha 5 Eel.
Mm.
This universal console allows the player to spawn a SETI Alpha Eel in combat, which uses multiple different attacks against nearby enemies. Release Deadly Specimen on your enemies, burning their skin with toxic attacks while rending their minds. This fully grown SETI Alpha 5 Eel can launch larvae at groups of enemies, holding and confusing them. It can also completely take over the mind of weaker enemies, turning foe into friend for a short amount of time while increasing their damage and threat generation while they fight on your side of the battle. Summon SETI Alpha Eel. Target
Whoa.
self. Summon a level 66 SETI Alpha Eel for 60 seconds. Toxic Spit, 146.8 toxic damage to a single foe. Larval Infestation, up to 6 foes within 30-foot radius. Hold for 4.4 seconds, then confuse for 14.8 seconds. Total Control, target foe becomes ally for 15 seconds. While allied, it also gains increased damage output, increased threat generation, auto cleansed if last remaining combatant. The skills that affect this are Kit Performance.
Nice.
And then they have a
Of
bigger
course.
picture of the material as well as the little ones it shoots out.
Oh,
Then it
God.
has one-time consumable items of 3 ship slots, 9 ship upgrades, 1 ship coupon, and 100 Lobi.
Why is it so adorable? Okay.
So, first up we have the Okinawa Pilot Raider. So the Okinawa has 3 costumes. The Okinawa premiered in the classic 1999 Star Trek game, Star Trek Starfleet Command, as the Federation's smallest capital ship during the tumultuous decade of the 2280s. This is the ship's default appearance. The Ventura visual variant is an adaptation of the Okinawa to the 60s mid-century modern aesthetic of Star Trek the original series. Originally seen in the IDW comic Star Trek crew, we are proud to bring the Ventura to life in Star Trek Online. The Alameda visual variant upgrades the Okinawa's profile to the modern era and sports the high-contrast advanced hull plating native to Star Trek Online's 25th century.
All right.
It has a 5 fore and 1 aft slot, 2 device slots, with a Commander Tactical Pilot, a Lieutenant Commander Universal Pilot, a Lieutenant Commander Universal, a Lieutenant Universal, and an Ensign Universal. It has 4 tactical, 3 engineering, and 4 science consoles, plus 10 weapon and engine power. It can equip dual cannons. It has improved Raider flanking. It has a universal console dual plasma charge launcher, an experimental weapon of a modular fusion beam, the pilot maneuver ship mechanic, and the Raider mastery package, which is accuracy, damage, crit chance, and it has the weapons of war starship trait. The Admiralty card is 33 engineering, 35 science, and 49 tactical, with a plus 35 tactical when alone.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can find a actual on the wiki yet.
2 torpedoes. Plasma cores becoming unstable and splitting into 2 missile warheads for a few seconds. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's the Romulan technology bit. It's reminding me of the Torpedo of Love, which is the unstable plasma torpedo, the big red one.
Okay, so the Okinawa Pilot Raider. So the console is the dual plasma charge launcher. It gives a +5 to most tactical skills, which is energy weapons, projectile weapons, defensive maneuvering, weapon accuracy, weapon specialization, weapon amplification, tactical readiness, hull pen, and shield pen.
Holy crap.
So a very unique set of bonuses.
Yeah.
And then the clicky is dual plasma charge launcher. 2x plasma torpedoes explode into plasma missiles. 180-degree targeting arc. Fire 2 plasma charges that seek out foes within 10 kilometers. If a torpedo finds target in 3 seconds, it detonates for plasma damage. If the plasma torpedo fails to find a target in 5 seconds, it explodes into missiles that seek up to 5 targets in a 5-kilometer sphere, which does plasma damage per missile with a 1-minute recharge.
Okay.
So an interesting console, if only for the bonuses that, to a little bit to a whole bunch of tech stuff.
Right, with a damage clicky, which is fine. I mean, we see these all over the place.
Then the experimental weapon is the modular fusion beam. Let's see, does this have a... Yes. So the modular fusion beam fires 3 types of fusion beams based on distance from target. Designed to react quickly to the distance of targeted enemies with a range, the modular fusion beam gives a far higher damage output depending on how close it is to the enemy, with the closest range is also significantly reducing the target's ability to regenerate. Strike beam, which is range of 10 km to 5 km, standard radiation damage, 40% shield pen. Lancing beam, range 5 km to 3 km, strong radiation damage, 80% shield pen, minor shield drain on target. And then suicidal overload, range under 3 kilometers, powerful radiation damage, 100% shield pen, major shield drain on target with a 360-degree targeting arc. So it is a very interesting Omni beam. Well, Omni experimental weapon.
Right.
The fact that it benefits being super close to your enemies leans into a certain play style.
Charge into their face.
Being able to completely, giving you 100% shield pen when you're in under 3 kilometers. So like fly right into their face and shoot them.
There are certainly people who fly that way with Raiders. I do that.
And it's radiation damage. So people who have radiation style builds.
I mean, if you run high enough auxiliary on your Raider, it's very good.
Yeah. So solid experimental weapon. And then its trait is Weapons of War, which is activating basic weapon type boosts all weapons of that type. So firing any type of basic weapon, beam, cannon, torpedo, mine, will apply plus 25% all damage for that weapon type for 10 seconds. Each weapon type's effect does not stack with itself, but all 4 basic weapon type buffs may apply. So this is one of those that's useful for a mixed armament type build. Because since you can't stack the same weapon but get a bonus to all different types of weapons. So overall, it's bonus damage. I see nothing wrong with that. This is a solid trait. And it benefits certain types of builds.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like its standard weapons are pulse phasers. Just as an oddity, I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay, so then moving on, we have the Warden multi-mission Temporal Cruiser.
It's kind of built like a nebula. It's one of the ones that has no engineering section. It's just a pair of nacelles tacked onto. Well, it does have an engineering. It's just kind of tacked onto the bottom of the saucer.
Yeah, it's like under the saucer.
Underslung. Yeah.
So the Ranger visual variant is a Star Trek Online original design recently remastered to celebrate the mid-century modern look of the Star Trek original series. The Ranger 2 visual variant updates the Ranger design to be at home in the late 23rd century of the classic Star Trek feature films. The Warden visual variant sports the high-contrast advanced hull plating native to Star Trek Online's 25th Century. This is the ship's default appearance.
Okay.
It is 4 and 4 aft weapons, 4 device slots. It has a Commander Engineering Temporal, a Lieutenant Commander Tactical Temporal, a Lieutenant Commander Science, a Lieutenant Engineering, and an Ensign Universal, with 3 Tactical, 5 Engineering, and 5 Science consoles. It has a +5 weapon and shield and +10 auxiliary power. It's it has 1 hangar bay. It has Cruiser Command weapon system and shield frequency modulation. And it has the Cruiser Mastery package, kinetic and phys damage resistance, plus regeneration, plus energy and radiation damage resistance, plus max hull hit points, and its Hellbore Light is its starship trait.
Mm-hmm.
Admiralty stats are 31 engineering, 29 science, and 66 tactical, with a 2.5 crit rating from tactical. So then the console, the universal. Let me bring that up so I can read the actual tooltip. Console Universal Expanding Sphere Generator. When receiving a debuff, automatically cleanse it and gain a small amount of temp HP. This effect can only trigger once every 30 seconds. And then the clicky is Expanding Sphere Generator. AoE radiation damage debuff. For 20 seconds centered on self. Emit a slowly expanding sphere that expands out 5-kilometer radius over time. Radiation damage ×4 per second to foes within the sphere. Minus 50% shield resistance for 20 seconds even after leaving the sphere, and small enemy targets are vaporized on contact, mines, torpedoes, fighters, etc., with a 1 minute 45 second recharge. So it's basically, you get something that cleanses you occasionally, and it gives you an AoE damage. Not bad. Universal consoles are always hard to judge because there's so many out there and so many of them are synergistic with each other. That said, given that it's an AoE radiation damage, I'm sure it'll find a home in some science builds.
Yeah, combine this with the stuff that grabs things and pulls them to you, or if you're a brawler.
Like the duty officer that changes your tractor beam repulsor to the one that
hug beam.
Hug beams, combine that with this.
That's what I was thinking for some there's also something else that sucks things in. It just doesn't do it as very well, but as hug beams. Possibly play around with that if you were trying to make that happen. This passive effect is the passive effect is interesting, especially because it's like
once
a weird
every 30
little
seconds is kind of slow, but
but it's basically like a free random hazard emitter every 30 seconds.
I mean, I think it was it the Iconian shields that gave you a similar sort of effect, a cleanse?
I think
one of the shields gives. I want to say it was the Iconian shield that gives you a cleanse. But regardless, the ship has the molecular reconstruction abilities because it's a temporal ops ship. And again, the fact that your commander engineering is also one of your temp ops seatings makes that a more useful slot.
Removes debuff every 10 seconds is the Iconian Resilient. So they're slightly nicer.
But it's also a shield generator versus a console. So
yes.
And then the trait is Hellbore Light.
Which
additional shield drain and damage under beam overload and cannon rapid fire. While under the effects of beam overload and cannon rapid fire, your energy weapons apply Hellbore Light to foes for 10 seconds. When taking directed energy weapon damage from any source, drain 5% of max shields or 10,000 shield capacity, whichever is less. If shields are depleted while under this effect, trigger a 2.5 kilometer radius explosion dealing plasma damage to foes near target.
Apparently, this is ridiculously good from what I've been hearing from
5% shield drain or 10,000 shield capacity is a decent drain, and then triggering an explosion. And considering beam overload is the de rigueur beam ability,
mm-hmm.
so Yeah, I can see why this is powerful. It's like, okay, you triggers every time you activate beam overload.
Yep.
So it's just like, okay, as fast as you could trigger beam overload, you get this effect.
Yep. Yeah, and I already use beam overload for my shield plop. Like I will my beam overload generally already blows out people's shields. If an additional 5% on top of that with a detonation that like sprays plasma damage onto nearby targets, in addition to say grab well to make sure that there's targets nearby them to get sprayed onto, is just extra gravy. It's additional damage.
Yeah, this trait definitely, like, without knowing all the math, this trait definitely seems like a solid trait. Like, this seems really useful, and it ties to a very used ability. So
Yep. Yeah, I love I love beam overload. I wish that they had included also what's that one from Intel?
Fire at will? That'd be really stupid if they put in fire at will
no.
on that.
Oh, you mean surgical strikes?
Yeah, surgical, not fall. Oh, I mean like fall. Fall would probably not be appropriate here, but yeah, surgical strikes.
Interesting thing. The name Hellbore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a flower.
Also comes up in that story that humanity fuck yeah story that I've been reading.
Oh,
that is their largest cannon shots. Which are a directed. Basically, it's a directed nuclear strike, is what it is.
Oh, okay.
So instead of it just being like a big, the spread out shot, it's actually a directed nuclear strike into whatever they're shooting. And it's like something. I think it describes the barrels are measured in meters.
Oh, okay.
Because of how wide, their diameter is measured in meters. And it's just interesting to see Hellbore here because that's that's part of that story, and it's usually one of the you are about to find out. Canon.
Okay.
I did drink some water, Cran. All right. So our next one is this really interesting looking ship that has
the Proxima Miracle Worker Science Dreadought.
Yeah, it is definitely a Dreadought, and it's got like this superstructure dual engineering hull, a superstructure, a skeletal superstructure in order to hold the quad nacelle and the saucer section. So I mean, like, this thing is just all sorts of interesting engineering to put this whole thing together.
Okay, so the Proxima visual variant originated in the beloved 2006 game Star Trek Legacy, a game which itself spanned every era of Star Trek. The Proxima's original series styling, combined with the distinct dual hulls and 4 nacelles, earned it a permanent place in the hearts of ship lovers everywhere. The Proxima 2 visual variant also appeared in Star Trek Legacy as the 2270s refit version of the original. We are proud to include this version of the ship for captains to fly as well. The Pollux is a totally new design which brings the Proxima to Stowe's current era. It sports the high contrast advanced hull plating natives to Star Trek Online's 25th century.
Yeah, but which one is the one that everything before this told us which one we were looking at? I think
the one you're looking at.
This one seems to be the Stowe.
That's the default skin. That is the Proxima class.
Okay, this is Proxima. Yeah, this one looks like a original series era. If you look at these nacelles,
so that's the Proxima class.
It says Proxima. Yeah, original Proxima. Star Trek Legacy.
It has four weapons and 3 aft weapons, 3 device slots. It has a commander science / miracle worker, a lieutenant commander universal / miracle worker, a lieutenant commander tactical, lieutenant engineering, and an ensign science. It has 3 tactical, 3 engineering, 5 science, and 1 universal console, plus 10 shield and plus 20 aux power. Its console universal is side pulse phasers. It has one hangar bay, come pre-equipped with Type F shuttlecraft. The innovation ship mechanic, since it's a miracle worker ship. Cyclical quantum slipstream drive. A secondary deflector, subsystem targeting, sensor analysis. And it has the Dreadought Mastery Package, which is plus exotic damage, plus shield HP, plus healing, plus shield regen hardness. And it has the use of power starship trait. The Admiralty card is 28 engineering, 55 science, and 33 tactical with a minus 5% maintenance any ship, not small craft.
Holy crap, this is a science dreadnought?
Yes, this is a science dreadnought.
Wow, okay.
So, the Universal Console side pulse phasers. They have a plus 5 max auxiliary power and plus 76 power transfer rate as their passives. And the side pulse phasers, side firing plus high energy damage. Side firing phasers target up to 5 foes per burst on a 5-kilometer range, dealing phaser damage to each foe in a side arc every 0.5 seconds for 4 seconds with a 30-second recharge. So it's a damage clicky with some aux power and power transfer rate. Not the worst.
Passively, the console also provides a boost to power transfer rate and max shields.
So then we have the Starship trait, Use of Power. So use of power is weapon skills from science and miracle worker buff abilities. So for 20 seconds when activating science or miracle worker ability, you get plus starship shield penetration, improves shield pen for starship weapons, plus starship weapon specialization, which improves crit hit chance with weapons, and plus starship weapon amplification, improves crit hit severity with weapons. Values scale with max auxiliary power, may only trigger once per 60 seconds. So basically, there's 40 seconds that you don't have it up. That said, I could see this maybe being used on a directed energy science style build. Well, no, because it just improves shield pen. So yeah, no, this works with anything. Because yeah, you click like your grav well, and then it'll boost everything for your torps. So ignore that statement.
Yeah, this is
just a damage boost. The only issue is because its uptime is 20 seconds every 60, means it's not as effective as something that is more always on.
Yeah.
So overall, these 3 ships, of them, I feel like the Warden's probably the best of the ships.
Well, I mean, like, the trait.
I think it has the most useful trait.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, like, that trait is just amazing. From everyone that I've talked to so far that I've been interviewing about this bundle, that trait is by far and away the go-to, like, right now. And yeah, apparently it is like a straight replacement for complex plasma fires.
Okay, which makes sense given what it does. So yeah. All right, so that wraps up the last of the ships in the bundle. So yeah, overall, it's an interesting bundle. Again, they had another bundle focusing more on like the movie era stuff. Well, some movie era, some games stuff. So
yeah, I'm kind of liking it, but this one. And the truth is, if I was going for anything, it would be to get the trait from the Warden. If I was going to buy any one ship,
that's definitely the best. Though the 360 fusion beam is interesting too, from the Raider.
Yes, yeah, especially if you were just going to yank that out and use that on something else, if that was your intent. But there's nothing wrong fundamentally with the Raider itself either.
No, the Raider's good. It's just the trait on the Warden is that good.
Well, yeah, the trait on the Warden is just amazing, especially if you're the sort of person that is like in love with, beam overload, or if you're a cannon person and you use cannon rapid fire. I don't use cannons that often. I'm just a beam person, but the thing is that trait apparently is just by far and away the meta at the moment. And as a result, there's always the chance that if like people are looking at it right now, and there's always the chance that it might be overproducing. Yeah, and there's so it could get balanced.
Yeah, so that covers all the news that I'm aware of.
Yep. All right.
So yeah, overall decent slate of ships. None of the ships I looked at were like, oh, this is terrible. Like some were definitely better than others, but none of them were abjectly terrible.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think all of them are extremely decent in one way or another. I like every single one of them. They also have really good looks. They're all classic in their own sort of way.